In the case of the Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, you are the daddy. The battle of the aces leaves Max Scherzer looking like a joker, and I'm pretty sure Dusty Baker just showed us all where we can shove our lineup cards. It's episode 39 of Stone Cold Stros, and it starts right now.
The Houston Astros, world champions!
Welcome into Stone Cold Stros. I'm Brandon Strange, Charlie Palillo in the middle, Josh Jordan on the end. Make sure you follow those guys on social media. The links are in the description. Be sure to hit like on this video, subscribe on the channel, yada, yada, yada. The full version of the podcast is available right now on all your favorite podcast places. Let's get right to it, guys. Charlie, it's episode 39. You got any players that wore number 39 you want to feature this week?
Well, sometimes life offers delightful little coincidences. 39 equaling the Astros 3-game run total in the baseball massacre that occurred up here over the 3 days. On the field in Astros history, not chock full of glory, but Bob Knepper had a near decade-long run as a left-handed starting pitcher in the 80s. Probably the best game he ever pitched. Game 6, 1986 National League Championship Series against the Mets. 8 shutout innings, the Astros leading 3-0. Get it to Game 7 with Mike Scott on the mound. Yada, yada, yada. Knepper tired. The bullpen didn't hold it. Astros lost that classic game in 16 innings, and that was that. But Bob Knepper, probably the Astros' most notable number 39.
So, guys, let's get right into it. Astros start the week getting swept at home by the Yanks, scoring 7 total runs over 3 games. They go into Arlington, and as you alluded to, hang 39 runs on the Texas Rangers. Which team is this? Who are the Astros? Are they the team that gets swept at home by the Yankees, by a last place team? Or are they the team that goes into Arlington, dominates them in 3 laughers, and basically takes control of the division? Who are they?
Well, look, I mean, they're not as great as they were against the Rangers. They kicked a team that was down and kicked it into oblivion. The Rangers in the midst of an epic collapse. I guess the rubber hits the road. Do the Astros knock off this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde act? 35-34 at home. I don't know if they consider checking into a hotel when they get back into Houston ahead of the Padres series at Minute Maid Park, opening up over the weekend, and then the Oakland A's come to Minute Maid Park. But in the American League West race, they pretty much kicked dirt over the Rangers. Right, they're 3 games ahead of them and the tiebreaker. But the Astros head home, tied in the loss column with Seattle. And the schedule clearly favors the Astros the rest of the way now, but they do play those 3 games in Seattle. The Mariners already hold the tiebreaker. So no one should be printing up division championship memorabilia just yet, but it's now the Astros race to lose, and it's a 2-horse race now over these final 2.5 weeks. Astros, Mariners, Rangers still in the wild card picture. They play 4 in Toronto next week, where if they don't rise from their coma, both offensively and the disaster that is their pitching staff, that could be curtains for the Rangers entirely.
Yeah, to me, they're both teams. You know, they go sweep the Red Sox, and then they get swept by the Yankees. And then they go sweep the Rangers. As soon as they gain a few, they give you a few back. That's who they've been all season. We just have to hope that maybe they've turned the page a little bit here now that we're in September. I'm encouraged seeing Jeremy Pena hitting second again, and look at him getting on base like crazy. The lineup has gotten a lot longer. I'm not expecting this from Jose Abreu all the time, obviously, 7 RBIs, but at least you're seeing some improvements there. And the other big thing is just you needed your aces to come out and give you something in this series. And Justin Verlander and Fromber both came out, pitched great games. They got your bullpen some rest. They took care of business. Sometimes it's tough to pitch with a giant lead like that. Both guys handled it like pros, and that's why we're sitting here with a sweep.
It's weird that I'm not as afraid of the Astros going into Seattle and having a series because of just how good they've been on the road versus how just unbelievably inept they've looked at home. They just look like a different team. What do we attribute this disparity? Does the home fans need to come out and call Altuve a cheater? Because that seems to be what motivates him. I just don't understand why there is this focus and production that happens on the road versus at home.
Yeah, I think sometimes There is no logical explanation for it. Remember back in 2017 when there were some nefarious activities going on. The Astros were much better on the road that year. Altuve had one season where he hit about 400 on the road and much lower at home. I think it's fundamentally inexplicable. You don't want to give up home field advantage. You wouldn't rather be on the road, even though the record says, well, maybe so. I mean, 45-27 on the road as they leave Arlington versus just 35-34 at home. But most fundamentally, last licks, right? You want to know where it's at in the bottom of the ninth inning, or if you're into an extra inning game. And remember, in the playoffs, at least it's not the silly beer league softball rules, right? The Astros 1-8 in extra innings. So you want to win a division. You want to be the number 2 seed. You want to have that first round bye, avoid that best out of 3, and then you have home field advantage. Even if you're thinking, is that such a good thing? Yes, you'd always rather have home field than not.
That's it for for part 1 of this episode of Stone Cold Stros. For the full podcast, it's up right now at your favorite podcast provider. And to watch the rest of our conversation on your YouTube, check out the Stone Cold Stros playlist. We'll be releasing those videos shortly. And as always, go Stros.